And together we blast off into space together to explore the furthest reaches of science and continents. Welcome to Wildspace. I am your host, Ryan. These are my players who are all individuals. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've at GGameKnights. Wow. What a fun time this is. I did not prep announcements today, but I know we have some. We have an ongoing concept. Is it a contest? What? Or is it just a giveaway?
It's just a giveaway.
Okay, it's just a giveaway. So how about you hop on to our Twitter account and try to win yourself some prizes. There's already, I know that we're for sure giving away Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes to some lucky person. And there's also, I think, more prizes, depending on how many people participate, there's going to be more and more prizes, kind of like a Kickstarter sort of thing. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Look out for that. Please participate. Let's see what else. This weekend we have session 2 of the new arc of Survivors Complex. If you haven't been keeping up with Survivors Complex, now's the perfect time to get started because they're starting a brand new arc. So definitely join them at 5:30 Eastern. And then the next game after that, a week from today, is Apocrypha. Rabies and cults and biker gangs.
Oh my.
And and oh my. So thank you.
Beware the oh my.
Beware the oh my. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. But tonight we've got some serious business to get down to. Let's go to Laser Space and join our crew and find out what happened last time on Wildspace and who is happy to volunteer to do that.
I am happy to volunteer to do that.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much for volunteering.
Oh, yeah, I do what I can. So, last week, first of all, Bolster leveled up like whoa. Multiclassed into, I don't know, Mystic or something crazy. He's got like markings on his face now. He can see sound and hear color. He knows the mysteries of the universe, pretty much. Vincent had a one-on-one with an ancient, angry, magic-hating sword dagger named Whisper. He's very mad and wants to kill us all, but it's fine. And Vincent was, of course, very chill about it, as per the usual. Rosh and Gwen finally had a long-awaited conversation, and it went great. And then the group interrogated the mummy corpse, which also went great, and then stopped hammer time. Pace went Batman on the mandatory guests, and then played emo hide and seek with Gwen, and then Gwen went angry wolf mode, and everyone went, and then we figured that out, and it was okay, but not really, because it turns out Gwen's actually on death row, basically, for being a werewolf, and we're not okay with that, but we're gonna fix it. The end.
Expertly done. Fantastic. Is there anything that anyone else wanted to add before we get going?
The wolf thing was an accident. That's it.
Yes.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
I didn't do it.
All right. Well, then I believe where we left off, Rosh and Vincent were consoling Gwen after her her little tantrum. And Pace had run off down the hallway, pursued by Bolster. Walked. She sulked off. And Bolster followed her. So we're going to start the scene there as Bolster is pattering after Pace. Pace, first off, where are you going? Actually, let's I want to get, before we get going, I want to have this scene be a little bit visual. So like Pace, describe kind of where you're walking, how you're walking.
I'm walking fast, faces past. Probably going to the hiding place where I was at last time. Just like some forgotten like nook in the ship somewhere where I was just like holding up where no one would find me and I could just be alone in the dark. That's where I'm headed.
This is the Arcturus. It's a loved ship. There are no forgotten nooks.
False. I found one.
Oh.
So I'm not going back to the cargo bay. I'm not going to my animals. And Captain is also just stuck in there with the mandatory guests. And so I'm not headed that way. I'm headed somewhere else.
All right.
Yeah, are you trying...
With that very clear visual in mind, Bolster, you patter after her, and you can take a seat from there.
I wasn't stealthing. I was just going.
I was gonna say, like, can I catch up with you? Is this like something where it's like not possible to find you?
I wasn't sprinting.
Okay, so you're just stomping away.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I think Bolster like runs after you. Obviously, he's inside of Samathes, so it's this kind of whooshing sound. Whoa, the music just changed, and it feels way more epic.
I thought if you're gonna have a talk, might as well.
All right. So I'm like, Pace, come back. What's going on? Let's talk. We gotta work through this.
I slow down barely, just enough for him to like catch up, but not. I don't like turn around or anything.
I catch up, and I'm kind of like floating beside you, like kind of facing you in Samathes, just kind of strafing sideways. I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. What's going on, Pace?
And as you're looking at her, probably, I don't know if you noticed because you were bleeding to death before, but she looks pretty shook up. Very different than usual. Like her eyes are all red, bloodshot. Like her nose is all red. Like has been crying.
She's been having a good cry. So yeah, I think Bolster's like, Pace, let's talk about this. Hey, you don't look so good. Have you been crying?
Yeah, so Pace finally stops. Bolster, I'm not okay. I'm not.
Well, let's talk about it real quick. What's going on? I mean, it can't be easy. Like you were dead just a little while back, and I mean, no one should have to go through that kind of thing.
Yeah, that is a large part of it. I feel so wrong, Bolster. I'm doing everything wrong. I don't think. That's the problem. I don't think. I just do things, and I don't have anything. I don't have anything left. My people are gone. And I'm losing what tiny thread of them I had left.
Hey, come on, buck up. Here's the deal. We're gonna look into this thing with your family, because honestly, like, I don't know what the solution is there, but we're going somewhere where there are a lot of people with a lot of solutions, and I'm really hoping that we'll be able to find one for your family. It's not over for them. You're not alone.
I hope it's not. I just don't feel that I am right for this crew. I've made so many problems.
You think you're making problems, and Gwen's over here turning into a rage beast and trying to kill everyone.
That is not her fault. She doesn't choose it. I make the choices, and they are wrong.
I mean, honestly, really, let's think about this. Like, what decisions did you make in all of this that, like, are causing problems, apart from just the lives that we're living, you know? I mean, I've been thinking about it. I mean, my existence is causing us all kinds of problems. So,
But Bolster, it is not your fault. It is the choices of others. I am making these choices. Bolster, I almost killed one of our prisoners. And I might have. I don't know. I don't know anymore what I would have done.
No, we can't kill the prisoners. But I understand the way you feel. Every time I think about my family back home, just working in the fields for that corporation. It upsets me too, Pace. But you know what? We just have to channel this anger that we have. It's not us that's causing the problems in this universe. We gotta focus on solving the problem. That problem is Ocelot right now. I'm sure there's a lot of other bad things in this world, but I think we know what our mission is. We gotta stop him.
Of course. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Bolster, I never really told you everything that happened when I died. I just said it was different. And now I've said that my people are gone. I saw one of my ancestors there, and when you all brought me back, she pleaded with me to learn to solve this and to bring everyone back. And I just touched my chest, and I felt her for a while, and after all of my mistakes, I'm starting not to feel her anymore.
Hey, I think we're gonna get some answers soon. I don't think this is your fault. And honestly, if it is, how in the world are you supposed to know what to do in this situation? This isn't the kind of thing that anyone normally goes through. We're all playing this by ear. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin. But I don't know. Let's ask around, see what we can do. We're not alone in all of this. There's a lot of people going through, I can't say similar things to like your family disappearing in the nether world or wherever that was, but like everyone's going through things, and we don't have to be alone. That's all I'm saying.
That is true. That is true. And I know I'm not alone as long as we are together. And I just elbow Sam at these and like kind of nudge him in the air a little bit.
Your metal hand like clanging.
Yeah, my metal
Clang.
mitten.
Yes. Oh man, we still gotta fix that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have happened.
Yeah, a lot of things have happened. So here's the deal. I know that I need to fix your hand. I know we need to get you some more of those arrows, because apparently my last ones just weren't very good. We got to work on that.
I think they were fine. It was my shooting.
Nah, I bet I made that crooked. But we can fix that mitten of yours. But first,
Great.
how about you and I go back and check on Gwen really quick, because
Is
she's
she
gonna
all right?
be. I think she's okay.
I saw that she was herself, but I could not.
Yeah.
Did not feel up to facing everyone.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's go back and let's face this together and figure out what we're going to do together.
All right, if you're sure, I will go back.
I'm sure. And I think Samothy's little, like, articulating arm kind of folds out and grabs her arm, and kind of he like whirs back the direction of Gwen.
All right, I'll go. And I follow.
You're muted, Ryan.
You're muted.
I believe
All right.
Vincent was talking with Gwen at the very last part of your conversation, and so that scene those felt roughly the same amount of time. So I think when Pace and Bolster come back, that's about where you left off.
So we're just like entering the scene as that
Yeah.
closed, or?
Yeah, once again, let's try to get some visuals. Gwen, where are you?
I am sitting cross-legged on the floor in the middle of my room.
Okay, so this is going to take place in Gwen's room, which is ransacked, just so we all have the right visuals for this. Gwen, cross-legged, in the center. Then, Rosh, how are you positioned in the room?
I know last I said I was making my way around the room, beginning to like clean things up, putting things in bed, putting things back onto tables and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, after the conversation finished, Vincent would have gone and started mending things, but so
I was gonna say, how are her trophies and her trinkets? Are they broken? Are they okay?
The lizard man jawbone is broken in about 4 pieces. And other ones, stuff like that. And like some of the teeth are like lost. They're somewhere in the room. As Bolster and Pace rejoin the group.
As a reminder, I have a lot of stuff in my room. Trophies and books and pictures, and it's packed full of stuff.
Okay.
So I think as we come back, probably Bolster enters like the doorway first, and Pace just kind of sort of comes into view, but like hesitates at the edge. Very uncertain.
well, there you are. See, everything's all good now. We're just tidying up in here. Ain't nothing worse than any of my bigger mishaps.
Gwen, you okay?
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. It'd take a lot more than that to put me out.
On the wall behind Bolster, about 6 feet back outside in the hallway, there's just a splatter of his blood that's kind of like flying against it. Like kind of like right behind him, like silhouetted, framing him saying, like, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. But how are you feeling? Are you okay? I've never seen that happen before.
I am unharmed.
Well, good. Well, hey, you know, it's actually kind of a good thing that we know how strong you are now, because now we realize it takes all of us to put you back in a room. That's pretty good. I'm kind of glad you're on our side.
I think this whole ordeal further emphasizes the need to deal with the problems that we have acquired during our travel.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I believe wholeheartedly, looking at Gwen, that this is the result of these forces that we've encountered in the last few months, weeks, days,
Hours.
And we need answers and cleansing.
He means the book.
Oh yeah, that thing. I haven't looked at that in a while. Oh geez, I hope it's doing okay.
It doesn't look good, but
I haven't either, but if it makes the situation any more palatable, I heard another voice before all this happened.
I'll just say this. So, Gwen, so yes, you did. The first, like when you all were hearing voices, those were kind of happening in your own thoughts, like kind of almost indistinguishable from your own internal, your mind. This was a distinct voice.
Like a familiar voice? Or just like a very distinct?
Distinct.
Okay.
What did it say?
Things.
I'll scroll up and find
I actually took a screenshot of it, I just don't have it pulled up.
Now, Gwen, I understand you like your privacy, but I think this isn't the time for secrets. And you should just be open about this.
I got it. You want me to say it?
Yeah, go
Or
ahead.
do you want to say it? All right. The word is like, well, I'll just put. I don't have the voice for it, but I'm going to read it straight. Like, I've witnessed you, mongrel. You dare to draw from me and squander what you have stolen. You could be so much more. Do you even know where your strength comes from? Let me show you.
Yikes.
Not ideal.
Well, yeah, we should probably get to the bottom of that too.
Gwen, where does your power come from?
I mean, I can tell you the story. The legend. We pass it down through a ritual. So, well, Rosh, I told you the story of my system, of our suns, and of our planets. Long story, very short. For the rest of you, our suns are believed to have once been goddesses, and our planets are believed to have once been titans, monsters, terrible creatures. There was a big battle. Everyone died in the end. All very dramatic. Our planet, the planets are said to be the bodies of those titans, their husks. Our planet was the beast. The creature that lycanthropy is said to have come from in the stories. I don't know if they're true, but it is a curse that we take upon ourselves. We sacrifice our humanity to use the power the beast left behind to protect others from the monsters that now roam these worlds. That's what they tell you anyway. It's some sort of magic, some sort of ritual.
When Gwen uses her powers, do we notice that it is invoked through your blood? When you cut yourself and yeah.
It's blood magic.
You invoke this power through your own life force, your physicality, your blood.
Yes.
That creature, that woman that we fought, did much the same thing.
Yes.
I'm not casting any aspersions that your order has any sort of ill intent or nefarious origins, but if the source of your power comes from the same place, and that book and these forces that we've been fighting have a connection to this sort of blood magic, perhaps they were able to influence you in some way. There's a reason that Bogoplomp I can't say the name.
I know.
I tried. I really tried.
I know, man. It's not your fault. It's my aesthetic. I'm sorry.
There's a reason that Toadman had your sister in a cage. And that he's connected. It feels too coincidental to think that, too convenient to be a coincidence.
I also think I should share another important piece of information that Bolster shared with me. And you're all probably going to tell me to stop using this artifact. The sword this one. I will pat the fancy sword, not draw it, so as to not make my friends feel like I'm gonna murder them again. I bolster you have a better understanding of these things than I do, but is somehow connected to, or part of, or contains the soul of, or something, her brother. It's been a while since he told me, but I don't think I'm mistaken in that information.
That's right.
Ramun was her brother. The scary, bloody mummy lady.
Has her brother talked to you at all?
Unless that was your brother's voice.
Not talked to so much, but I mean, there's a presence in artifacts, I think.
Vincent nodding like really intensely.
Do you think it's the same presence, that sword has any connection with the voice that you heard and the thing that controlled you, forced you to use your powers?
Rosh, if I knew, I would tell you. I have no idea. Do I think it's a coincidence? No, I don't really believe in those anymore.
I would recommend maybe putting the sword away for a while. Just until we can ensure that it is safe to use.
Wish we had another tank to put it in.
Alright.
Just until we get to my temple. I don't plan on getting any fights between here and there. Only the gods know how that's going to shake out.
Is there somewhere you'd like to put it? Keep it?
I just think it'd be safer to not be attuned to it.
I really like the sword, and I'm loath to say you're right, but...
It's not forever, unless it ends up being an evil sword, and then you shouldn't be using it anyway.
Well... yeah, you're right. I know you are. You always are.
I don't think that's true, but we should run our errands and make our way. Yes, Bolster.
So I wanted to say, I'm remembering something. Thanks to our GM messaging me about it, because I had forgotten. That crazy mummy witch person that we fought. She told me something about well, that sword had to do with her brother, and apparently her brother tried to rise against her, and that was his sword.
So maybe he was good.
Or maybe they were just both greedy, wanted power.
I think it bodes well that the sword might not have ill intent towards you, but still, just to be safe.
Sorry, I thought I was muted earlier. My bad.
It's okay. No, I don't like to give it up, but you're right.
Well, I say we go drop. Well, maybe I should go talk to these people we picked up. Maybe just I don't know.
Well, somebody else will
No.
need to have to watch them. I cannot watch them anymore.
I'll do it. I'll go. they probably won't be as scared of me.
Bolster.
And I'll just,
And
I'll describe brief. I'll just like turn to him and kind of like under my breath, just be like, the woman who looks like blah and her role is blah.
What does she look like?
I don't know. Oh, I get to decide. Ooh. Well, I don't know. I guess she's like a shortish human woman. Mousy brown hair. Sort of like a nondescript, just like someone who like you could see on the street like 100 times and you'd forget her face. That's all I've got.
All right.
I'm just like, yeah, she knew that they were working for Ocelot. I just let Bolster know that.
all right, I'm gonna go make some food and get these prisoners something to eat. And we'll see if they'll talk once their stomachs are full.
Bolster. I am so sorry.
Hey, you're all right, Gwen. I'm all right. You know, it's not the first friend I've fought with, and it probably won't be the last.
I know, but it's always been my job to protect all of you.
Well, you know, sometimes there's things that are out of your control, and that wasn't you, you know? That was something else that's inside of you, and we're gonna figure out what's going on there. But in the meantime, don't worry about it. That wasn't your fault.
And Bolster, as you're consoling her, with a sight you don't even really understand yet. Not quite. Your eyes are focused on her, and in the periphery, the walls seem to move, and almost like the Cheshire Cat, it looks like a maw forms of a grinning, long-fanged maw begins to split across the wall, and as you turn towards it, there's nothing there. And it kind of a little bit of a chill, I would imagine, goes over to you. You know that this is more of a portent, not a clear and present danger.
Okay.
Just to contextualize what you're feeling.
So I think Bolster his eyes kind of unfocus a little bit as he's looking at Gwen. And then he kind of snaps back into focus and kind of looks around and says, Gwen, I don't necessarily know what's going on in my head right now after everything just the other day. And I want you to know that what's inside of you is scary and dangerous, and you already know that. But it's something that I think we can take care of. It's something that I think it's a problem we can solve. And so don't worry, and don't feel like you have to protect us from yourself. We can hold our own, and we'll be just fine.
I trust you.
That's all I want. All right, I'm gonna go cook up some vegetable soup. If anyone wants anything, just yell at me.
Pace.
I just nod.
I'm sorry.
For what?
All this. I don't know.
Do you also apologize when it rains? Or when a panel of the ship falls off? you apologize for all things that are not your fault?
No, but if I feel like I hurt you and you're my friend, and sometimes you just say you're sorry.
Thank you. I'll finally walk in, and I'll reach into like my pack or like a back pocket or something, and I pull out the little fossil she gave me, and I put it in her hands like, "We will fix the rest. We will get you more. It is okay." And then I'll lean down and pat her on the shoulder and just kind of look her in the eye and just, it was never your job to protect us. We all protect each other. We are friends.
You do know that Crystalum hired me onto this ship as your security officer, right?
We knew each other before you and I.
I know.
Do not string yourself up in obligations, Gwen. And forget to... I don't know. Just be you sometimes.
I don't know that I know who that is.
Let's find out. Because I think I do. And I like you very much.
I like you too.
Good night, everyone. Someone really needs to watch the guests, though.
You hear from the kitchen, like, I got it. Be fine.
Ulster's going to do everything, I guess. It's
We
fine.
should have some soup and go to bed.
Ugh, vegetable soup. Ugh.
It's good for you.
Ugh.
How do you think you got so tall?
Probably from eating lots of meat.
You're probably right.
I'll hold out my hand and like to pick her up off of a cross-legged position so we can walk to the kitchen and eat some soup.
I eat a shit ton of soup.
Yes!
Where were you all at in installing Kitty? I forget what I said. I think you hooked him up to power, but haven't. Has he been installed, but not necessarily hooked up to power?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Basically, I think it was Vincent and I worked together to like get him in there, but we would need Bolster to like get him working.
Okay, so he's still in sleep mode. Just or making sure I don't have to do the voice.
Yeah.
Oh, what if I go to the kitchen and like I start to make the soup and I'm like, this is super slow, and I'm like, oh, I'll just hook Kitty up and Kitty would like do it with me. I don't know. I don't know how far along it is or if that would work.
It would probably be faster to make soup than to get him up and running. But also, secondarily, all his appendages are mostly still busted and stuff. So it's like and its ability to make food very well might still be suspect.
We'll fix him.
Well, in that case, I would just make soup.
Okay. All right. So
I will go find meat and I will eat it.
Okay.
What if we just like sear you some meat and you just put that in your soup?
Why would I dip meat in soggy water, plant water, when I can just eat meat?
That's not.
Hey,
have you tried bolster soup? It's very good.
Have you never had hot pot?
What?
No.
Hot pot.
No. Never mind. You sear the meat in the boiling water. No. All right.
I know what you mean, Rosh. It's very good.
All right. So, Bolster, you wanted to see the mandatory guests?
Yeah, I'd bring a big pot of steaming soup and a bunch of bowls in there and start serving out food.
Okay. Let's get to that in a sec. Let me make sure. Vincent, was there anything you wanted to do right now?
Would have just made sure that at least Gwen's bed was fixed up so that she has a place to sleep, and then head in to get the food.
Okay. All right. Rosh, Same question?
No. There's nothing I need to do right now, unless somebody needs to talk to me. But
I was, for what it's worth, I don't know who would have noticed this, but Pace was like not looking at Rosh at all, ever. Like when she came back to Gwen's room, she was like, just not looking at like so much as their robe. Like if she was looking at the ground, like not even looking at their clothing. Like.
Okay. Rosh's passive perception is quite high, but I don't know if that translates to.
My insight's a +4 if that helps at all. But
then yeah, sure. So let's just say yeah.
Either
probably
way,
didn't address it at the moment, but I don't know. That information is available to you. For what it's worth.
Yeah, I don't think it changes anything. I think for right now, there are a lot of tensions, and I'm just gonna let people work through them on their own.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything right now.
Groovy. Okay, then let's go to the back of the ship in the cargo hold where Bolster is dishing out soup to 6 individuals.
So yeah, I think the scene would probably open with Bolster like he's inside of Samathi's and the door to the cargo room like opens and and Samathi's carrying like a pot of hot water and like in his other like manacled hand he has like a bunch of bowls and Samathi's kind of drifts forward and the cockpit opens and Bolster kind of steps out and he kind of steps to the ground and is like, "Hey, you guys. Hey, I'm sorry we haven't gotten you food yet. I'm so sorry. Well, here, let me start dishing this out." And I start like Samathi's kind of helps me like put stuff in bowls and I start like kind of motioning and like handing it towards them.
Okay.
I don't know how they respond at all.
I think a few of them don't hesitate and they go straight for it. But I think 4 of them, mostly the older ones, are a bit wary.
Reasonable. So I think Bolster did Pace describe the girl that she had harassed to me? Okay,
yes.
yeah.
She was shortish with mousy brown hair.
So yeah, I go to the mousiest looking one, and I guess I like would probably personally hand her a bowl of hot soup, and I'd say, "Are you all right?"
I don't think she answers you. She
Okay.
takes the soup but holds it, not like going for the utensil or anything, just like holds the bowl, if there is a utensil. Just kind of looks at you warily, discerningly, skeptically.
So I say
verbally.
Dadgummit, I can't even start talking. I think Bolster says, "Hey, I heard about what my friend did, and I want you to know that's not who we are. We do have a bone to pick with Ocelot. They've done a lot to hurt us. They previously killed the girl that attacked you a short while ago, and we were able to bring her back, but it's been a really rough, trying time for her and for all of us. But I understand. I used to work for Ocelot too. I was back on Mammoth. You might not even know where that is, but we're not friends of the company that owns your company. But I don't know you, and I think we could probably be friends. And so, I hope there's no hard feelings, and I'm really terribly sorry. Yeah, enjoy the soup. And again, I'm really sorry. And definitely let me know if there's anything I can do to make things more comfortable.
What do you plan to do with us?
Well, there's a gentleman named Pieter who asked us to come and check on you, see how you're doing. And, well, when we went to check on you, it seemed like you guys were in a bad spot. So we're bringing you back to Pieter. That's his name, right? Am I getting that right?
No, but that's fine.
Okay.
I think it was like Petra or something like that.
Petra.
It sounds more like a like the Land Before Time dinosaur almost.
Petrie.
Yeah. Yeah. Petra. Yeah. So you say we're bringing you Petra. I think when she hears the name, she still pauses and is hesitant, but she says nothing but brings the bowl up to her lips and takes like a sip, just like her eyes locked on you the whole time.
I think I just nod and I walk back over to Samathes, and I think I kind of jump up onto Samathes, and I say, guys, I'm going to be spending the night here with you guys, and I want you to know that if you need anything, just tell me. We're taking you guys to Petra right now. He was the one that asked us to look out for you, and I'm sorry things have been kind of rough recently, but we'll get all of this taken care of soon.
And one of the gnomes kind of pipes up like, "Could we get some blankets?"
Oh, absolutely. And I think I'm just gonna guess that we have spare blankets, and if we
I don't want
I would
spare
probably...
blankets. I want primary blankets. Just kidding. Yeah. It's
so I
yeah.
get them blankets.
We want
Let's
more
just assume that I
blankets.
get them...
We want more blankets than we have. It's too cold back here. The devil lady gave us some blankets, but they were threadbare. We need more. I need to pick a voice for this character. I'm kind of going all over the map. Oh God, I hate Cole. Like, I'm trying not to do his voice. I hate him so much. The devil lady gave us. That's still it. I just do it in my regular voice.
Just own it. Just own it.
I don't wanna. It's like the devil lady gave. No, is that still it? Is that still it? Am I away from it enough? Devil lady gave us some clothes earlier, or blankets earlier, but we need more. We need more. It's so cold back here.
Wait, she gave you guys blankets? I thought she was trying to string you up and take out your blood or something.
I mean, no.
Wait, what
tried-
devil lady are you talking about?
She was gonna feed. She was gonna feed Domena to the to that.
Oh God, you're
creepazoid
talking about
over
paste.
there.
Oh, I'm over here thinking you were talking about that crazy mummy witch thing that was in that temple back there. I'm so sorry. Well, yeah, let me get you some blankets. We'll get you more blankets.
No, the one that's like.
Yeah, I think Bolster would probably like just break down laughing and not be able to do anything for a little while. Just like shoulders shaking.
Yeah, and I think this one gnome, like everyone else is like looking at them like kind of a little bit annoyed and disgusted with this one gnome who doesn't seem to be speaking, doesn't seem to be understanding the situation that they're in.
So I think I go get blankets and I pass them out, and then I'm like, you guys, tell me what you were doing at this temple. Like, what? When were you attacked by this crazy, evil queen person?
Oh, sorry, I'm still being talked to. Which one are you talking to? I'm sorry.
Well, I think I was kind of addressing the crowd. Just kind of sitting cross-legged on a blanket, and yeah.
Anyways, the question was when?
What were they doing at this temple?
Well, the other gnome speaks up. He's like, we couldn't stay at the facility for much longer. It was starting to sink.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Something went wrong in the bilge pumps, but so we went to the temple. We had done some research, and there was a theory going around that maybe if we got the conduits back online, that it would activate this ancient irrigation system. We couldn't quite figure out why the Arleans would set up shop there unless they had some sort of means for dealing with these rains. We thought maybe we could get them back online, but then everything went wrong.
The irrigation system would probably lower the water levels, allow you to get around more easily. Is that it?
That was the hope.
All right. Well, yeah, your base was in a bit of a bad situation when we got there. It was half in the water. Also, there were some kind of plant creatures that were in there that attacked us too. And it looked like a couple of your buddies in there were lost already.
Yeah, that was kind of indigenous life forms of the planet. They started coming out of the waters as they rose.
They were really scary.
We had security teams to deal with them, but once systems started going offline, we couldn't hold them back any longer.
Yeah. So you ran off to the temple and I guess set up those turrets there to protect you. Is that it?
Those are the only ones that we could keep operational. We didn't have enough power to go around for the others.
Gotcha. What were you doing when, I guess you were attacked by those Gold Forged?
While we were trying to get the conduits to come back online, it seemed like we were making headway. There was a surge, and they came alive. And we thought they were just statues, like the emperors of old who would have terracotta armies interred with them. But they came alive. And surgically, like clockwork, they begin to collect everyone in the temple, bring them down into the circle there.
So then they took you and used you in some kind of crazy ritual, I'm guessing. And
the other gnome, the kind of silly one. It kind of looks quiet and sorrowful as I look down and bowl. And say, everyone died.
Oh, buddy.
I'm a
You guys,
girl.
I'm so sorry. Wait, what?
Just kidding. Buddy is non-gendered.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah. But it is a girl.
And yeah, I think Bolster is just really quiet and his ears kind of like pulled down. He says, well, if it helps at all, we got her. She's gone.
Well, I'm glad that she can't hurt anyone else.
I know that doesn't bring your friends back. And I'm so sorry. Listen, if you guys, well, I've already told you, if you need anything, let me know. I'm here to help until we get back to Petra. I could use your help. There's this giant object that we picked up at your base. It's like a stone, and it's large, and I don't know what it is. And I was wondering if you guys were studying it or if you knew what it was.
Someone who I haven't mentioned yet, will give someone else a line. The elf. Well, none of us personally were looking at that. That was Cassian's. We found it in the temple, but all that research was his.
So no one knows what it does because he's gone. Well, if you guys want anything to do while we're flying, I might suggest looking at it. I know you might get bored. Space is big, and if you need something to do, feel free to research it. We put it on board because we thought someone might find it valuable. So, feel free to look into it. In the
With
meantime,
what?
I'll let you know.
We don't have any of our equipment anymore.
You can use some of mine. I don't have lots of things, but I have a little.
And then the one that Pace singled out earlier, kind of as a few of the scientists kind of get a little excited because they can actually do something. One of them, the one she pointed out, say, "What's your name?"
I'm Bolster Valentine, and this over here's Sam. Say hi, Sam. Sam, wait.
I'll ask you again, Bolster. What are you planning to do with us?
We're bringing you to Petra.
Where?
He asked us. Do I even remember where we're bringing them? I don't know if I was a part of that conversation.
It's,
I mean, we were there.
yeah, we would have said we're going back to the station.
Uval Station.
Uval. Yep.
U-Haul Station. That's it. U-Haul Station. We're going. Welcome to Wildspace, sponsored by U-Haul Station. Yeah, we're going back to U-Haul Station. That's where Petra told us to meet with him.
Question: where's the sarcophagus and all the crates of stuff that you took? Was it all in the cargo bay?
I would assume it was in the cargo bay.
Okay.
So where you are at currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure that's great for them.
she goes on, is it? What are you going to do about all this when you arrive?
Well, I don't really know, honestly. If you guys don't want it, we'll probably keep it. But in general, I mean, I assume that we were sent here to look into you guys and make sure that you are all right. It's rightfully yours.
She narrows her eyes at that.
Is she like worried that we're gonna try and take everything, or is that the plan?
No, just you said it was rightfully hers, and it's not legal at all to be taking these goods like from without being sanctioned at all.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That makes sense. I forgot. So she feels like I'm trying to pin this on her.
I don't know what you think that she's thinking.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, so she looks. She has a look of consternation kind of crosses her face.
Listen, we don't always do the most legal things. I mean, goodness gracious, one of the last things we did was we were out running purifiers with a load of alcohol. That was pretty good. If you don't want it, we will take it. But we're not gonna judge you. We take all kinds of work.
No, we'll keep it.
All right then.
Sorry.
Like that's fine.
She's so confused by that question. If you don't want it, but
I'm implying there, like, if they don't want it because it's illegal, was what I was going for there. But
I think okay, so she thinks about it a little bit, and she's like, if you can help us get it onto Yuval Station without the Concord confiscating everything and maybe throwing us all in prison, then maybe, I don't know what deal you worked out with Petra, but maybe there's some sort of commission there.
I'll talk to the rest of the crew about it. I can't make that kind of decision by myself. But, yeah, that's fine. And I think at that point, I probably, just kind of go to sleep, I think. Because it's been a long day where I nearly died.
Yeah, okay.
Captain is there and he snuggles up with you.
Oh. Giant dinosaur creature that's like twice my size.
At least.
Great. At least. It's good. It's great.
Okay.
Good.
Alrighty. So, is there anything else that anyone wanted to do upon the flight home? And we can just snap the rest of the trip down.
How many days is it?
It's another 4 from where we're at.
Yo, Bolster.
Oh, buddy.
Yo, Bolster.
Yeah. Bolster's gonna fix Pace's hand. I don't know how long you would like for that to take, but I would assume.
I don't know how
a bit of
melted
time.
it is. I honestly don't know.
Give me a roll. We'll see if you can get it done. What roll that works? Okay.
Tinker's Tools rolled a 17.
Okay. Yeah, I think if you do nothing else for the next 4 days, I think you can fashion her a new hand. It's not as pretty as her old one. It's very like, it's kind of not clumsy,
It's
but like the fingers
More
are
Mad Max.
very much more Mad Max. It's a little bit kind of thrown together. It's a little bit scrap looking, like scrap metal looking.
To be fair, the other one was kind of 5 fingers of like sharp claw ish. So.
Right. So this one looks a little bit more like a robot than a
Maybe it's
prosthetic.
like a 3-claw clamp kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, let's do that. You got a 3-claw clamp,
Sweet.
but 2 and a thumb and 2 claws. Yeah, like a Ninja Turtle is what you've got.
Just forever telling everyone to live long and prosper. It's fine.
Absolutely. Okay. That's them. What about the other 3 of you? Is there anything that you wanted to do over the next few days?
At some point, I go bug Roshil.
Okay.
I think Rosh is just in the solarium, probably kneeling by the window, staring out at maybe a small star that we're passing.
With Eleanor?
No, I thought Eleanor was back in your room.
I don't know where anyone is anymore.
Eleanor's back in there.
We can put her in my room if you want your solarium back.
I don't know. Maybe
Her room is trashed.
Yeah, that's right.
The prisoners are in the cargo hold. Rosh is in Pace's room. Eleanor's in Rosh's room.
And now
right.
Bolster's in the cargo bay, and Pace made up
knows?
a hammock
I'm
So
somewhere.
Rosh, you're in a regular room right now, but you do have a porthole where you can look
Okay.
out. And since you're all traveling in hyperspace, there's not necessarily a star to fixate on, but the way that all the light is kind of congealing together, it's like watching running water, though, but like a prismatic running water.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Knock, knock, knock.
Come in.
Hello, it's me.
I briefly look over my shoulder, say, "Do you need something?"
Am I bothering you?
No, just meditating.
Great. That's actually what I wanted to ask you about. You meditate a lot. And I suppose while doing so you pray?
Yes.
Do you mind if I sit with you while you pray?
No, not at all. I'll move a little bit away from the porthole and kneel down with you. I'm afraid I don't typically say much. It's mostly internal.
It's alright. I'm familiar with meditation.
All right.
I've just been thinking a lot about what you said. And if it's alright with you, think I would like to experience a bit more of your religion.
I look genuinely surprised. And nod and say, "Of course. You're the first person on this ship to express any interest, so..."
Well, the verse you gave me was quite comforting. And I find I don't have a lot of comfort as of late.
Maybe I'll share some more with you. Years of study, I have much of it memorized.
I would like that.
I actually think, too, I take the book that I so rarely open off the kind of holster I have it on my hip, and I hand it over to Gwen if she wishes to read it. And I don't really have anything prepared for that, but it is one of the book, like the prayer books of my order, and it has a lot of the same sort of prayers that I usually proclaim in appropriate moments. Is there anything else? I kind of watch, I guess, in that moment and stay quiet as we meditate.
I read some. It's interesting to me, but I was never much for religion. But it's comforting, you know. Most of what my order teaches is very death-centric, I'm finding.
I suppose it'd be a bit redundant to say that I find comfort in it as well.
I'd be surprised if you didn't.
The one passage and the one saying that has kept me going for as long as I have was one that you could say mother, taught me, who I hope you all meet soon. Is that the light cannot harm me as long as I have faith. I meditate on that frequently.
Thank you for sharing your time with me.
Anytime. I'll think on it more, and if you wish to speak further on the subject, perhaps I'll have more to talk about next time.
All right.
But, as I said before, what you carry inside of you is what you make of it. It is neither good nor evil. And no one will force you to relinquish anything.
It is a choice I made long ago. I am much older than most of you. And I relinquished a lot when I made that choice, and took on a lot when I made that choice. I gave up my name, my family, my humanity, but I know why I did it.
And that's all that matters. And I'll sit there in quiet meditation for as long as you want to stay.
I'll stay for a while.
All right. Days later, Vincent, as you take the ship out of hyperspace, out of FTL, the stars snap back into pinpoints, and in the horizon ahead of you, in the distance, there's glints Yuval station as it spins around, looking some like Sputnik almost, or a sea urchin, kind of slowly revolving as the distant sun catches light on the different spires that are spread out. You see Actually, you can't see this with your naked eye, but you know at the edge of this particular system is the arc stream for leaving the actual sector. And as you approach the station, coming into your field of view is also more of the Concorde frigates that you saw earlier. And actually, on your way, as the flight control, they begin to kind of send you messages and saying which path to take, and some of them take you by a frigate, which are enormous compared to the Arcturus. You're flying by at as you see thousands and thousands of like winking lights of windows and portholes in the other ship. Massive particle cannons that are on the undercarriage that are dormant currently. The ship itself seems to vibrate a little bit as you pass by their ion thrusters in the back, just the sheer force of their engines. You peel past them, continuing on towards the space station. And
quick question. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm just kidding. Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, dang it. I did want to say I did want to speak with the crew just really quick about the relic situation.
Okay, you'll have time to do that after this, for
okay,
sure.
Cool.
I'll give you. We'll probably get a break before you do that, but yes, that'll happen before you land. So Vincent, as you're passing by this, you kind of feel on your back these hard bumps that weren't there the day before. And you remember the dream that you had last night. Of Sandale standing before you, and their kind of beautiful androgyny, flowing garments and hair, turquoise skin and silver eyes. Behind them, these large, outstretched, feathered wings. They kind of look at you and extend a hand behind them, and their wing pulls back, and behind them is just a large, I'll say an infinite blackness, where there are countless lights, and each light is a life, and each one comes together, clashing against each other, sending sparks peeling across your vision in some calamitous conflict that you're witnessing. And it feels like that moment stretches for eons of this conflict. And gradually, many of the lights grow dim. And what are left behind, you see what looks like a night sky. And Sandale kind of points again past the lights, past each of these little pinpoints of light, and it's almost as if you're being pulled forward towards the image, and the lights begin to go brighter and brighter and brighter, and you begin to speed past several of them, almost as if you're going in hyperspace yourself, past all the lights until there is nothing but darkness. And in the darkness, you begin to see shapes writhing there. And then that's the last thing you can remember from your dream. And that's a good place to break. So we'll break here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. So, yeah, everybody. Thank you so much. No announcements now. We're going to break. So we'll be back soon. All right. Thank you, party people.
See you in 10. Bye.
See you in 10. And welcome us back, everybody in chat, please. I'm going to wait for your welcomes. I'll count a woot as a welcome. That's close enough. All right.
Yay.
So, oh, we got a real one. Thank you. Nameless. So, we're back. We had some announcements at the beginning of the stream. If you missed them, just check out our YouTube, which will have a URL soon if you subscribe. So do that. And let's see. I think we can just get going now. We'll talk about everything we need to talk about at the end of the stream if we have to. But thank you all for joining us. And if there's any questions in chat, just ping me because I kind of not looking super closely. But yeah. So everyone, you're pulling into the Wildspace station, sort of city limits. As a bolster, he wants to talk to everyone.
Thank you, my German friend. So I guess I'm trying to think of like where we all are in this moment, and I like to think that we're all like in the cockpit together, like looking out at the station as it's like coming towards us. At least that's what I would guess would be happening.
Yeah, and there are also other small and medium-sized craft that are kind of whizzing back and forth.
Right.
It's not the most heavily trafficked station once again, but there's some prospecting in the nearby systems. So there's some people coming and going.
So I think Bolster kind of looks at everyone as we're all like staring out at the station, and he's like, so I was a little distracted and I realized I probably should have brought this up sooner, but we have what are probably a bunch of illegal relics on board our ship that the Concord would probably not be very happy with us having. Now, I was talking to some of our guests, and they mentioned that if we were able to get those items undetected to Petra, that, you know, they'd make it worth our while. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but honestly, we gotta get them past Concord anyway.
We have hidden goods before. This is no struggle. The hard part will be trying to take it through public to Petra.
I would assume Petra might have some suggestions or methods of doing so.
Yes, could Petra come to us?
Yeah,
That might be a good call.
I could certainly go fetch him.
Yeah, let's do that.
Are any of these things that we have, are they made of anything organic?
Just the people.
Well, I don't
But-
need to hide the people, do I?
Probably not.
Because we could just shove everything into one of my enclosures, and it will be hidden and no one will dig too far into it, I think.
You mean with the amoeba?
No, I mean with the, with the modeler, actually. The one where I That's what I shovel all of the excrement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. No
There's a
one's,
creature, like the pile of mold in there. It
Yes.
is not the pile of mold, it is a creature.
no one's gonna go in there.
That's what I'm saying.
I like it.
They won't.
Well, it's either that or they don't get them.
Well, that's true. And I mean, I guess, like, is there anything wrong with us having them on board our ship at all?
We could be a passenger ship.
Worst case, we can say we picked up a distress signal and rescued them.
That's true.
It's not a lie.
All right. Well, I guess we got our story straight. And, I guess now all we need to do is, well, do we need to hide the items? Or do we want to hide everything with the molder? Or what do we want to do there?
We should probably get a move on moving those into that cage pace before we get hailed by any of the Concord ships.
I can do that.
I can also do that.
All right. I guess I'll be on call. I'll send Sam to help you, but I'll be in the engine room making sure we've got everything we need in case we need to make a run for it.
Or close enough. If we need to make a run for it, we're not running very far.
I hope it doesn't come to that.
And, Rosh,
I'm doing you all a favor and assuming I'm not there. So, if you want to bring me in on this, then by all means, but you guys have kept me out of everything so far, so I was assuming this was a conversation.
we just leave Rosh in their room.
Does Rosh understand that we have these illegal relics on the ship? And
I honestly do not know.
I don't think I know that they're illegal.
okay.
I don't know.
That's good to know.
I'm thinking back to how those conversations went down. I don't think it was ever expressed to me specifically that this was some sort of illegal operation.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I don't know how many of us knew it was illegal until we were reminded this session.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Pace.
it definitely
I did.
It came up. I think, Rosh, it might have slipped your mind at this point, but I mean, and I could be wrong. I think there was a vague. I think you might have known that might have been up to some stuff, but that wasn't important because like you were rescuing people. Like that was in your mind. That was in fact, that was the mission that you all undertook. You're rescuing people. The fact that you all now have all the contraband that they had, like a lot of it on the ship, that makes your current situation different from what you all set out to do. So if there's, I think if it feels confusing now, that's the reason. That said, I don't know if that was necessarily on the forefront of Rosh's mind, and maybe anyone else's. But
I'm pretty sure that Pace would be very aware because she has done very similar things before.
Yeah. No, I'm going to make the assumption that you guys are distracting, or that I am doing something else, and you are not telling me what's going on right now.
what did we distract Rosh with?
I mean, before I was like, "Hey, Rosh, come here and help me, like, with this animal over here." But clearly, that's not what I'm doing this time.
Oh, I have a great idea. Rosh, so when we come into port and all things like that, we might have people boarding our ship, and I think it might be a stressful situation for Eleanor, especially, and so I think...
do you have a hole?
Perhaps you might... She knows you, I mean, more than any of the other crew, except for myself, and obviously I'm going to be... I am in contact with Petra and everything. I'm going to be helping moving people off the ship, so I think it might be good if you stay with her. If you wouldn't mind.
I don't mind. I don't know if I'll be the most calming presence to her, but I have some spells for that, if it comes down to it. That don't involve holes. Didn't mean it like that.
Good. Right. But I think she, you're at least a familiar face that didn't sort of meet her while looking like a drowned rat. Pardon the turn of phrase.
Sure, I'll do that.
I appreciate it.
I go and take care of Eleanor then.
Okay.
All right.
So
let's
do it.
I think I pat Vincent on the shoulder and I'm like, all right, all yours, buddy. And I walk back to the engine room.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to ask Rosh to give me a charisma check.
Oh, buddy.
You can do it, buddy.
All right.
But before you roll.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do to set yourself up for success, or can you think of anything?
I mean, I got me some spells that I could potentially use, but I think I'm going to try to do this a little bit less intrusively first. I'll bring in some food, some of the nice food, maybe some leftover soup or meat that Pace didn't eat, and something that smells good and looks good, and I'll bring that in and make a big showing of taking it and holding that out as I enter the room and trying to hopefully placate her a bit with something else, with an offering of peace.
Okay. I'm not going to give you advantage for that, but I will offset your deficit. So +2, is that
Sure.
I'll give you a +2 to that.
Yeah. And I guess if I'll guidance myself maybe.
Okay.
'Cause that's less intrusive. That's me not doing something to her. All right. So let's go. Well, that's a 5 plus 2, the 7 plus 1 to 8.
Oh,
It's like
Lord.
unreal.
Yeah. All right. So but let's say this: it's not catastrophic, but you have gained no ground. We'll say that. She still is awful sort, you pa. Yeah. I think so. You come in, and Eleanor is just staring daggers at you from across the room.
I will put the food in the middle of the room, not approaching her, and I will back up towards the doorway, and I will remain at the doorway as far as I can from her while still keeping an eye on the situation.
Okay. I think she's pretty stubborn. I think she waits for a very I don't know if Rosh feels awkward, but if it were me, I'd feel super awkward. For like 10 minutes, she's just staring at you. And then eventually she does walk over to the food, takes it back to a corner, and kind of not sitting, or she leans against the wall with the plate or bowl, and then just like is eating, staring at you the whole time.
Fair enough. I'm very on guard, but I will stay there in the awkwardness.
Okay. So that's what's happening in the solarium. What are you all doing with the stuff and the people?
I will go, and I will take the stuff, and I will push it into the room, into the enclosure with the moldler.
I'm gonna help
Okay.
push it.
How big is this cage?
It's probably pretty big because the molder is large. Granted, it doesn't move very fast or very much.
I think. Let's see. So let's take another little gander at the things that of which you have procured. Several crates that are probably a foot and a half tall, maybe 2 feet tall, and about 4 feet long. You have that very large stone that is. I forget what I said. Rather than the size of a car, between a car and a refrigerator. So I feel like that piece alone won't fit in there. You also have a sarcophagus, which is probably, I don't know how long most sarcophagus are, but I would imagine like around.
Oh, because she was really tall too, huh?
Yeah, so probably 10 feet, maybe 10 plus. Like, there's a lot of big stuff that I mean, I don't know that it's not all going to fit in there, especially not if you're planning on putting people in there too.
I don't plan on putting people in there. No one wants to hang out with a mold beast.
Okay, so maybe there. Then I think you can easily get in. I forget how many crates you took. We'll just say, I mean, unless someone has a correct answer, I'm just going to say 4.
Cool.
You could probably get in if it's a large creature. You can get all the crates in, but you won't be able to get the sarcophagus in, and you won't be able to get the big stone in.
And the crates, they're metal crates, right?
They are. They're kind of some blend that's whatever.
I just want to make sure they're not wood.
They're not wood.
Okay. Because the molder would probably try to start eating it.
Yeah, they're not wood. So, okay, so you can put, we'll just say blah, blah, blah. All those things are in with the poo. So,
he's amazing. It's amazing. It's not poo.
I was talking about the poo that the mold eats.
Fair.
But yes, so now you got this strange stone, and you've got the sarcophagus. And what else? I feel like you have something else. Oh, also you have this large cylinder that is filled with a demon book beast.
Of course I can play this off as one of my animals. It is fine. These can stay. But we are half done. I don't know what to do with the other half. Glenn, do you have any ideas?
You can jettison stuff.
That is wasteful.
And this close to all the Concord ships?
I'm trying to think of a place where they wouldn't look.
How obvious is it that it's a sarcophagus? Could be like, like dress it up like, oh, this is like an extra cot that we have. Just like cover it in blankets and pillows.
I mean, it looks like a sarcophagus. If you're asking me, like, how obvious does it look like? I mean, it looks like a sarcophagus. I don't know if I saw a sarcophagus outside the context of a tomb, if I'd be like, that's a sarcophagus. But, like, I feel like I would.
That's fair.
We'll just take it into one of the bigger rooms and we'll put a cloth over it and it's a table.
No one will ever look under the cloth. I think this is good.
But it's just a table.
Right. No one will ever try to be like, are they hiding anything under this table? Oh, look at all of these runes.
It's a very fancy table.
I mean, granted, my intelligence modifier is 0, so this sounds fine.
Decision time.
I press against one of the intercom buttons. Pardon me, Bolster, do you have any ideas of how we could hide these sarcophagus?
What? All right, I'm headed over, and I think I show up, and I'm like, so we got this big old thing, and we don't have any rooms, I'm guessing, that we can fit it in? Is that
Right,
what's
we put
going
all
on?
of the crates. We put the crates in with the molder, and they are fine. Theoretically, I could put these in with the other animals, but I cannot vouch for the status of them when they come out.
I mean, it's just a gold box, right?
Oh, is it solid gold? Because I did not know that.
It's mostly gold.
Well,
We can melt it down. Probably not in time, honestly, but
I was going to say.
I bet they'd be upset about that.
I still think the table idea is a good one.
Oh, buddy.
What do I have in
there's
my
just-
inventory? Let's see here. Nothing, and zilch. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, is it covered in runes?
I assume. That's how I imagine sarcophagi.
Jeez. Yeah, so we could like turn it over. Yeah, sorry. We could turn it over. We could put a tablecloth on it, and then maybe put some food on it, and have people eating. Huh? That's a
The addition of people is new. I like this.
Okay. No one's gonna be like, get up right now so I can do that magic trick where I rip the table out of the table.
But what if they do? Do we have oh gosh, I never looked under this tablecloth before. You are right, it is gold.
No, we just have to not draw any attention to it, right?
That's reasonable.
We have to think. Okay, we have to get into character, right?
Even if
And think it's just a table. So like, no one's going to acknowledge
What
a
if-
table.
why
So if
didn't we
we
do that
don't
one of the-
acknowledge it,
Why did we do it with the crates? The crates could be tables. The sarcophagus we should have put in with the molder. Why did we do it this way?
too late. This is what we're doing.
All right,
Well-
let's do it.
Okay, this is great. I have no fears whatsoever about this.
You just have to not acknowledge that it's anything other than a table. In fact, don't acknowledge it at all.
What if I just leave Captain in there and he's just like napping or something? Like no one wants to bother this 5-foot-tall dinosaur bird, right?
It is also, I will say this, there's 100% no way that you all have a tablecloth.
We just cover it with like 5 different blankets.
You can cover it with blankets, you can cover it with sheets. There's set things you can cover it with. I'm just saying, like, there's no tablecloth on this ship.
We'll probably have a tarp somewhere, and it's not going to be a fancy tablecloth, but it's probably big enough to cover it.
As long as we can stage it like a table. Put people
I mean, I'm
around
pretty
it.
good at stealth. I wonder if I could try to disguise it somehow. Like, like dirty it up a bit, make it less shiny so it's not so obvious it is gold. That sort of a thing. I wonder. Is that a thing that I could try? Yeah.
With stealth?
Yeah, like like applying the logic and like of stealthiness.
Applying the logic of stealthiness.
Yep. I'd just like to casually intimidate the mandatory guests.
So what specifically are you trying to do with the box?
I just want to make it less shiny, like less obvious that it's like gold, less obvious that it's
wiping it with like oil and stuff.
Yeah, like dirtying it up. So if they do lift up the tablecloth, it's like, oh, not like, oh, it's shiny.
Okay. I won't make you roll to put oil on it
Great.
or gunk on it, whatever you want to do.
Sweet.
What are you gonna like smear oil all over it? Is that
Sure.
okay? Yeah. It reeks of oil.
Some sort of material. Like soot. I'm assuming Bolster has some soot from his tinkerings.
Buddy, I got oil. I got plenty of oil. It's all over the place.
Okay, this sounds like a great plan. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, perfect. So, Vincent, you are hailed by the Yuval station once again. Is howdy, why don't you pull on over to Docking Bay 204A? Just mosey on your little craft over there, please.
204, roger that. See y'all shortly.
And you approach. Let's see. Uvalve Station. As the Arcturus. Oh, what'd you do with the big thing? God, I don't want to. Oh God, this is gonna be another 20 minutes. What are you doing with the big thing?
I hid it amongst all of Rosh's pillows.
Just covered it in pillows.
I just literally, I know there's a big old pile of pillows.
What I love is that like Rosh is in that room with Eleanor right now, staying there, and like Gwen's like.
just like it's like in the background while they just stare at each other awkwardly.
Russell, do not look over here. There's nothing here. You don't know it's here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need you to trust me.
So you put up all the pillows, and they cover about halfway up, and maybe throw like a rug or two over it. It's like
we're the best smugglers.
It's still very clearly a thing underneath pillows and a rug, but it is at least mostly obscured. And it'll be very. It will work if nobody looks for anything. So
there you go. There you
go.
But
it's better. But it's better than any place else.
It's better than no idea, you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, roll me an intelligence check, Gwen.
So, not to interrupt this, and as great as it's all been, this is a smuggling ship. We must have some hidden compartments somewhere.
Yeah, probably nothing for items for those two items this big. I mean, we could retcon something to like that you put the crates in there instead of in the poo-poo.
That would be great, because then we could put the sarcophagus in with the moldler.
Okay.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
Problem solved.
You can put it in there.
Now it smells like oily poop. Great.
Yeah, all right. So we'll do that. So
Dunk it up so the molder would like cover the whole thing and just submerge the sarcophagus with its form.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Okay, so Gwen, something occurs to you, but then it slips away.
I rolled a 4.
Okay.
But we do still need to figure out what we're doing with the big stone, kind of.
Oh, it's under pillows.
I'm hiding it under pillows. No one else contributed any ideas.
I have no ideas.
Okay. All right.
Shoot, and it's like weirdly shaped, right? Or is it like perfectly like ovular?
Not perfectly. It's roughly like a teardrop shape, roughly.
What did I just say? It's like an egg. Like some giant beast's egg that I am taking care of or something.
I just feel like that's probably a good way to get arrested.
I have all of these other animals that I'm not getting arrested for.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like they're cutting us a lot of slack.
That's fair. That is very fair. Okay, cool.
That would be a very big egg.
Fair. This is fine.
They got
I'm
bigger
sure
fish to fry than people hauling eggs around.
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, anyone that walks into the room with Roshan and Eleanor is probably going to focus on them.
That's true.
One can only hope.
All right, and just then, the ship lands in the station. And where is everybody currently?
I would be leaving the cockpit, heading towards the cargo bay, because that's presumably where station staff will be meeting us to board.
I'm gonna be in the cargo bay also.
Yeah,
tending my animals.
Yeah, where are your mandatory guests, and where are they with you?
You can give them rooms. They could be in my room. I don't care.
I think they're in the cargo hold because our story is that we found these people we rescued.
Oh yeah, sure. They have blankets. They have pillows.
Yeah, they built themselves a little shanty town in our cargo bay. It's great.
It's a what is it called? Pillow fort?
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a blanket fort. We apparently have endless blankets, but no tablecloths, so that's how that works.
Endless pillows.
That's what we should get while we're at the station, is a friggin' tablecloth.
Yes.
I'm
Thank you,
going to be
G-Master.
backing up Vincent as a good security officer should.
Okay. So, the cargo bay door that Help had fixed while you were on your adventures, a little bit shakily, loosens and then drops down. And somewhat like before, you see an opening on the edge of the docking bay open up, and figures begin to come out. But Pace and Bolster, roll me intelligence checks.
This is gonna go great.
I can do that.
I can't.
20.
Oh, I rolled a 17 actually.
All right. High fives. We're
Okay.
smart.
So last time you were here, there was the inspections officer and 2 armed guards. This time, there are many more armed guards.
Well,
This is gonna go great.
And with actually both of you have really good passive perception as well. On the opposite on 2 ends of the cargo bay, you hear, or actually you probably all hear this, especially Vincent, you hear this clank, clank, clank sound as 2 mech walkers begin to step out into the opening. And also, then you hear this. You don't see this, but you hear it. And the 3 of you in the cargo bay see this. I think, Rosh, you kind of hear this, but I don't think you necessarily will know what this is. But like you'll hear, you hear this sound kind of like a as above you in the opening above the bay, this kind of energy grid mesh net begins to build over your ship.
Did we just get
No.
booted?
And the armed guards begin to fan out as they come up the ramp of your ship, bearing laser rifles. As an inspection officer steps forward, and just kind of everyone's like, hands where I can see them.
I like stop in the middle of shoveling some poop out of one enclosure to another and just
It's like, and then, okay. So, wait, what did you say?
like holding a shovel of like
Okay.
Excrement from one enclosure to another. I just like kind of hold my still holding a shovel, but like my hands are right here.
Okay. Yeah. 3 armed guards begin circle Pace with laser rifles leveraged at you.
I will drop the shovel.
Okay. All right, and they begin to swarm all of you. They say, telling you to get down onto your knees, and they begin to all shouting questions at all of you, like, do you have any weapons? Do you have any knives, guns, or swords, bows, anything? And they're just kind of shouting at you. Does anyone not offer up what they have?
I'm dropping everything I have.
Okay.
Very quickly.
Okay.
I have a sword very clearly on my belt,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
I'm not gonna reach for it.
Yeah. So they take your stuff. And they take your stuff, and more guards begin to go towards the back of the ship and clearing out the other rooms. The officer's like, how many more are on this ship?
There are 2 more other than the ones you see here. Should warn you, one of them is not in the right frame of mind right now, is not going to take kindly to people showing up pointing weapons at her. She is unwell. We were on our way to get her help. Just be cautious when you approach her.
What room is she in?
She's in the solarium, and I give directions,
Okay.
point towards. She's with the other member of our crew who is there.
Okay. All right. So, Rosh, are you standing by the door, or where are you standing?
If we're in the solarium, I'm sitting or kneeling near the door.
Okay. Gosh, I'm gonna think about this for a second, then get back to the scene. Did you all give help any advice for what it should do?
No,
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Honestly, I don't think Pace would have thought to, so.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, I think Bolster. Sorry, I was gonna say I think Bolster probably would have been like it's gonna be okay. Just stay in the back, like the engineering area.
And yeah,
Okay.
if help wasn't in the cargo bay, I would have also told them about help so that they don't freak out when they see this insectoid thing prowling the ship.
Okay. All right. So, what do I want to do? How would they do this? All right. So I think they come into the room, Rush. Several guards with rifles kind of burst in the room. I think they try to knock you down to the ground. Do you resist?
No, I'm calmly kneeling there. If they do any sort of force, I completely submit.
Okay, so they put you down on the ground, and the other 2 kind of like begin to circle around Eleanor, and they're yelling at her to get down.
I at that point I say, she's not going to understand you. She doesn't understand anything we're saying.
They continue. The one that has kind of a knee in your back kind of presses into you a little harder and tells you to shut up. And then I think you see one take out a stun baton and charge it up as approaching Eleanor. And I think, I got to roll for this then. Sorry, let's see if they hit. Okay, so the first guard goes and swings for Eleanor. Eleanor like backs up, and the baton like slams into the ground and sends like this shockwave out. But and she's surprised and begins to kind of turn on that guard. But the other one gets her in the side with a taser, and she goes unconscious. And then they begin to manacle her. And I think they're probably also restraining the rest of you at this point as well.
Can I ask what is Captain's situation in all of this?
You tell me.
Because he's just a free-roaming beastie. I don't know how they would react to him. And probably once they like started circling, he probably started like squawking, and I had to be like, "It's okay, calm down." So I don't know what they would do to him.
Is he just squawking? Right
Probably
now?
like kind of like started like flapping his wings a bit, like making himself, doing that bird thing of like making himself big. And then I was like, calm down, it's okay. And he probably started to like still be agitated, but like.
Okay. Well, yeah, a couple of them raised their rifles, said Captain. A little unsure. They've never seen anything like this or anything else in your zoo. But I think for right then, nothing else happens except for the woman who appears to be in charge. Let's see. We've got word about your crew. That you were dabbling in things that you shouldn't be. You all are going to be detained until we can ascertain the credibility. If everyone goes along peacefully, we'll be able to resolve this. But I suggest everyone stay calm. Let us do our job. And if you haven't done anything, we'll send you on your way.
Not sure what you've heard, but you'll have full cooperation from us. Just as I said, again, we have some people on the ship who are perhaps a bit volatile, so I just want to be fully transparent with that.
All the guards who are near you that hear that, they begin to kind of fidget nervously, looking around across everybody. But is there anything that anyone does to stop what's happening, or does everyone play along?
I'm pretty much going to take my cue from Vincent.
I'm not in the same room with them, am I? So I don't hear that announcement or anything.
Yeah, I guess you don't hear that. Okay. Your past perception is really high in the way that in my map of the. I still don't think you'd be able to understand it. Yeah. No, even if
I just to the guards there in the room and the one that has his knee on my back. I'm not resisting or anything. And when I see that she's gone, that the Elnor's gone down, and that they haven't hurt her unnecessarily, and that she's at least not going to end up getting shot at this point. You're giving me a look like I knew they were going to stun her. That was pretty obvious at that point. I wasn't going to get her killed.
I'm giving you a look like you said the words, they didn't hurt her unnecessarily, is what I'm giving you. I'm not there.
I don't move back, but I just say, I don't know what's going on. I'm a priest of the edict, and I can assure you this is all a mistake, whatever you think has happened here.
And at that, there's a painful crack at the back of your head. I guess I can roll something for it. You can take 4 bludgeoning damage.
All right. Well, I don't say anything else.
All right. So, if no one tries to stop what's happening, I'm going to explain what happens. Okay? Everyone is moved from the Arcturus to vehicles that are nearby. You pass by these large mech walkers that kind of like train these plasma cannons at you as you pass by. They put you into these vehicles and while you're still restrained, and they take you away. They drive you past lots of sights of Yuval. Yes, go ahead.
A couple of things. One, as soon as I see that we're being moved away, I would just say, some of the animals in the cage are potentially dangerous. Don't stick any things in there you don't want to lose.
Please don't.
And are our mandatory guests also being taken along as well?
Yes. Yes. All right. So, yes. So you pass by. Some of the sites in Yuval that you may not have seen before. You see these kind of like looking at like the graded windows of these vehicles. You see these rivers that are like underlit with artificial light, and they kind of change colors over time. You see neon signs, people walking down the streets, kind of eating from like food carts and things like that. And you're seeing all this like kind of being jostled by in the back of these caravans. You get moved to a holding facility, and are about in a process that takes about 2 hours. You all are kind of put into holding cells. Let's roll to see who's with whom, because I'm gonna mix the 5 of you up with the 5 of them. I don't know the best way to do this. I want to roll to find out how it is, but
Question: are we all manacled?
you are restrained until you're put into the holding cell. Then
So we've
the
been
restraints will come.
manacled for 2 hours.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. All right. So, I'm trying to think. What's a good way to take 10 things and pair them up randomly?
There are internet things that do that.
You could just do a D100 and then do it by tens.
But then, like, if everyone's got
that's true.
Does anyone know like a way to do this real quick?
Not quick.
All right. I guess. All right. I'll do it this way. This is that's not going to work. I'm just going to say. All right. I'm just going to make this. I'm not going to do it randomly. I'm just going to just think of things. So I think in prison together is Vin and Eleanor. Okay?
That's great.
Rosh, you're with Help. Bolster, you're with Gwen. Pace, you're with the mousy researcher.
Oh.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Someone's writing all this down, right?
Yep.
And then so that's all of you, and then the rest of the Ocelot people are paired off. Okay. Can you post that into chat so I can remind myself what I said? Okay. Thank you. All right. So you all are away from your ship. You're all in jail. And Vincent, I think you feel something in your pocket as Whisper returns to you.
Why do I keep getting knives that come back to me? That's from another campaign.
Gwen, what's your? I got your passive perception right here.
I think it's 14.
Okay, it's pretty good. So I think what you see, Gwen, you see a black mist kind of materialize out of nowhere, and kind of like condense and go into like Ven's pocket.
Okay.
Okay, and if neither of you want to say or do anything with that information, then I can move on. But
I will shortly. I'm just taking notes. I will telepathically, with a whisper, just be like, well, I guess it'll be kind of nice that you're back, but I also don't imagine they're going to take very kindly to me having a weapon back on me.
they'll never find me.
Well, guess I'm going to have to trust you with that, because if they do find you, I'm probably in a heck ton of trouble.
Understood.
Don't suppose there's any way anything you can think of to help with this, short of trying to murder them all? Because that's like Plan Z at this point. If you come up with something charming.
Asking a knife. Hey, do you want to like not murder them? You have any other ideas?
All right, so let's define what these prisons look like, and we can do this together. This is kind of like what's in my head. Is there these 10 by 10 rooms, and the doorways are a similar kind of energy grid mesh that is like keeping your ship from being able to fly away. That is just kind of like orange octagons, just like across, translucent. You can see through them.
So we can see the rest of our crewmates. We're just not.
I think you can see. Oh gosh, I don't want to determine who you can see. So I'm just gonna say that you're all facing the same direction, so you can't see each other. Just because I don't want to try to figure out who can see who on the other side of the hallway.
So hold up. There are solid walls for most of them, but the like where there would be like bars is like the hexagons. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But we're all on the same side of the hallway, so none of us can see each other.
Okay.
I think you could probably. I think you can hear each other, but the way that these grids are designed, it scrambles sound, and so if you were to try to talk to each other, it would just come out as like garbled mess.
I am yelling for bolster.
Okay, everyone else is like, and
It's great.
okay, so that's your cell, Gwen. Was there anything you wanted to do for right this moment? Okay,
Nope.
Let's go to Rosh and Eleanor. Eleanor is I think she kind of came to in the actual ride back.
Rush is with help. Eleanor's with me.
You're right. Whoa, Gwen, who are you with? Did I leave you out? You're with
Gwen is
both.
with
No, wait,
me.
I'm with Bolster.
Whoa, Eleanor saw that. Okay. All right.
I did not
Sorry.
see Whisper.
You did not see Whisper.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was
I'm
a little
gonna
confused
make-
by that.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay. My bad. All right. I think. Oh well, that's interesting. You're without her. Okay. I think. I think she's breathing a little heavily, and like her forehead is pressed against the wall, and she's just kind of like hitting the edge of the wall, kind of seemingly trying to calm herself. Is there anything you want to do? Gosh, I'm sorry for getting the rooms mixed up
No,
already.
it's fine. I just had a terrible idea that Gwen would be very upset with me for having, but now that I have Whisper back, I don't think this is the time to do it. But Whisper can cancel magic. There's magic on Eleanor. But no, not while we're trapped in a cell together. Now is not the time to try that. Anyway, I'll see her, hitting the wall, and I'm gonna speak to her soothingly, calmly, repeat repetitively. It's alright, Eleanor. You're just gonna ask us some questions. I know that you don't really understand what I'm saying. You're not gonna understand what they're saying. But things are gonna be okay. We're all gonna be okay. Gwen's gonna be okay. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get you help. We're gonna fix things. Just stay calm. I will talk to them about them shocking you. That was uncalled for. Just when they come, obviously I will do the talking, but just don't get too angry, because that's not going to help our cause.
Charisma check.
That is a 19.
So, because of everything that went down before, I'm not going to rule it as like a 19 if it was like starting from ground zero or from base level. But despite that, even though you can tell that she's not understanding what you're saying, she is seemingly soothed by the way that you're talking to her. She begins to breathe a little bit more normally, and she kind of turns away from the wall, looks at you for a moment, but kind of looks back towards nothing, and then leans back against the wall, kind of slumps down to the corner, and right now she's just looking at her hands and just like focusing on breathing.
It's all right, Eleanor. And I think I'll start singing a lullaby that I remember from my mother singing to me when I was a small child.
Okay.
Just kind of let that go until the song runs out.
Okay, performance check. Just for me. It's not going to affect the scene at all. And maybe it will. We'll see.
That is an 8.
Okay, but you know what?
For the rest of us outside the cell, it just sounds like...
It actually translates into dubstep pretty well.
Yeah. So, and I think with, and I don't know if you all have different experiences, but like, for me, like my mom can't sing, but, her lullabies still, like, they still work. You know what I mean? Like, in this, you're a little bit pitchy, and your voice is kind of like shaky and not really quite, it's not a great performance, but yeah, it's still soothing to her. Okay, so let's go to Gwen and Bolster.
Question. I'm guessing, must have taken me out of Samathi's.
Oh, yeah.
When we were... Okay, that makes sense. I was like, wait, am I still like just in this mech suit?
Right.
Like, all good. You doing okay, Gwen?
I'm fine. Are you?
Wish I could see Pace.
I'm sure she wishes she could see you too.
Yeah. And I think Bolster is kind of looking around at the walls, looking at how everything is designed, trying to see if there's an easy way out, even small air vents or things that he might be able to squeeze out of.
There is a small air vent.
Would you say it was a tiny air vent?
I would say that it's tiny.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So, I get really close to Gwen, and I say, I don't think we're there yet, but if we need to, we can always go through there, and maybe I could find a way to get us out. Again, I don't think now's the time at all, but if we need to, I can get us out.
It's a good thought. If you need my help, say the word.
Will do. I could probably use a boost, but not yet. We'll wait. We'll see what happens.
What do you think this is?
I don't know. It sounds like they were tipped off about us or something. Somebody knows. Maybe. You don't think it was Petra, do you?
It's actually the first thought I had. There's a lot of money to be made turning in people like Petra.
That's very true. Well, we'll find out what happens. They're probably gonna interrogate us next. And, I'm okay with telling them everything. How do you feel?
I don't know, Bolster. I don't know that I would
Well.
say anything.
Do what feels right in the moment. I don't think any of us have all the answers here, and all we can do is hope to figure it out as we go.
All I know is I'm here for all of you.
Me too. And I think I pull out 2 small discs out of. Have they taken everything or just our weapons? Like, I'm guessing, would we still have belts with tools and items and things on them, or
Travis.
I'm just asking.
Travis. Have you never been to jail? No, I'm kidding. No, you do not have a belt of tools in jail.
That's fine. I think I would pull a button off of my clothes. I would just tear one button.
Oh yes,
off,
and they go yes.
and I focus really hard, and I infuse the spell jump into it.
Okay.
And I hand it to Gwen, and I'm like, I know you can already jump pretty far, but if you need to go even farther, well, about 3 times farther, just use this. Go.
All
Okay.
right.
So I will say this. There are material components to this spell.
Oh, like a grasshopper's leg?
Yeah. However, I will say that they would not have taken a grasshopper's leg out of your pocket. Well, I will give you this one, but the rest of you, look at your material components, because if it's, I'm just giving you this one for free, pretty much. And I think everyone after this, they have to really sell me on why they would have that component not in their pouch or something in their pocket. Okay.
Okay. That's fine. I
Okay.
didn't even know we were doing components, material components for most things.
Oh, we are, baby.
My bad.
Unless you gotta focus, kids.
Mm-hmm.
So Vincent had a question.
Yeah, it was going to be about components, because I'm thinking message, having a short piece of copper wire.
How about let's roll for it. Let's see if they found it on you. That's what I'll do. Actually, I'll do that for some of these components. So I'm just going to roll a d20, and I'd say that they're proficient in investigation, probably slightly above average, so I'm going to have a +3 to this.
Mm-hmm.
And a small piece of copper wire, that's going to be kind of hard to find. So I'm going to set the DC at... I'm going to set it at 14, because it's not like you put them in a secret part in your pants or whatever.
Yep.
So they didn't find it. I rolled a 9.
All
so
right. So
you
yeah,
do have it.
At some point, we can go through the other scenes first, but at some point I would try and message one of my allies, see if it gets through the doorway.
Okay. Gwen and Bolster, do you want to do anything else in this scene before we move on?
I'm just gonna tell Bolster, thank you for the button. And also, you're the smart one, you're the expert. Whatever your plan is, you tell me what to do and I'll follow, because little do they know, they can't take all my weapons from me.
You got that right. And one of our weapons is friendship. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
The other one is my claws.
That too.
But friendship, yes.
And mine. Like a little mouse claws. Sorry.
But whatever you think is necessary, I will protect you.
Sounds good to me.
All right, and recall once again that Gwen's shoes are garbage right now. Her boots are garbage, unless you
they are
change out
garbage
of them.
boots.
Did you change out of them, and like, are you wearing something different? Like, do you have like any
like
slip-ons
a
or
nice
anything?
pair of flip flops.
Or is it like some flip flops or something like that? You tell me.
No, I don't think I really have any other shoes.
Okay,
If
are
they're
you barefoot or are you
un-
wearing the trashed boots?
If they're like completely unwearable, I would just ditch them.
Gosh, they're really close. I mean, I wouldn't wear them, like, but they're like the whole
If it's,
front.
I guess.
Front, so if this is the shoe and like this is the sole and this is the big boot, it's like
If it's gonna be more work to try to wear them, I'm just gonna go barefoot.
Probably.
Okay, I'm barefoot.
Okay, all right. Just wanted that visual. Okay, Rosh, you're in there with help.
Yeah, I'm just sort of have my head like turned away from help and I say, "Does it look like I'm bleeding?"
Help. Kind of tries to go up the walls, having a little bit of trouble. There's something about the materials that they use to make these walls makes it a little bit difficult for him to do his little climby thing. So he changes tactics and kind of goes up you, and he's kind of heavier, a little bit heavier than looks. Well, no, he's not. He's actually really light. Never mind. And he kind of goes up to you and looks up, and you hear the sound of ripping fabric, and Help begins to dab the back of your head with a bit of its spacesuit.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. Are you all right? Did they weren't too rough with you, were they?
And Help, you can't unless you like turn. Well, I will say you turn around. Like, Help kind of rubs its antennas on its head, and you see kind of like a fresh like crack in its exoskeleton, where there's like a little bit of a kind of yellow mucus sort of like thing that's collected there.
I see that and I say, oh well, let me return the favor then. And I cast Cure Wounds on Help, which does not have any material components.
Excellent.
Just check that to make sure.
Yeah. Oh, do you have like a divine thing?
Well, I was going to ask about that actually. I have an amulet that I use as my of my order that I use as my.
Gosh, I think they'd take that.
Okay.
They would.
All right.
All right.
Should have said a tattoo. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone makes that mistake.
Take that.
Yeah. No, I have that on my. I have an amulet and I have it on my shield too, but I assume I don't have my shield.
Yeah. Okay.
So I heal them.
Okay.
I don't know if I need to roll for that or how much damage they'd actually do.
No, we'll say that you yeah.
My minimum is 5 that I can read.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
And we don't have to role play me sitting here and having small talk with Help. But I think what I would try after a moment, if I have any or was able to have any copper pieces or bits, I just need a small piece of copper wire for a spell of my own. But,
okay, then I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna roll the d20 plus 3. We're gonna set the same DC, 14.
Yeah.
So they just have to roll below that. And they rolled a natural 1 and got a 4. So these are not very attentive guides. And yeah, they missed the copper wire.
Okay. So I take it. It might even be just like a small fragment from like the armor plating or something, but I take that and I just want to meditate on it for a second, and I cast Sending.
Okay.
And I say, Father Ramon, I'm in a bad place here. I'm in Uval Station. And I don't know why, but I'm in a bit of trouble. Please don't tell Uline.
So
I
what?
remind you who that is if you don't remember.
Yeah, I think I know who he is. So sending works. I respond.
Yes.
I respond.
Yes, you may if you so choose.
I
can roll the spell if you want it up, but
yeah, short message, 25 hours, across any distance. Any distance, that's helpful. Okay. Uval Station. No, I don't like that voice. Uval Station. I will see what I can do immediately.
I just smile. I'm not going to spend a spell slot to respond again. But I just smile and I look to help and I say, maybe we'll be okay then.
Okay. So we're gonna move to Face's cell.
So how's she? What's she doing? Actually, no. First of all, am I manacled?
No.
Great. What's she doing? How's she doing?
She is backed against the other wall.
I will be on the other wall.
Okay.
I'm aware.
Okay.
And then besides intermittently yelling for bolster, eventually I realize that either it's not getting through or he's dead. So I'm gonna go over to the hexagon wall door and try and touch it with my bare hand.
Okay.
Bare hand.
Which one?
Which hand?
Well, actual hand.
You have a bare hand now?
Her bare hand.
Yeah. When in a
Bolster is
pinch,
good at what he
bolster.
does.
Yeah. So, you touch it and it doesn't shock you or anything, but you feel like a little bit of a static like pop. But then like once you get past that, it's like touching a firm, as if there was material there, physical material there.
Okay, now I'm gonna touch it with my metal hand. My metal claw.
And
Okay.
you burst into flames. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Same thing, but no sensation of like.
Okay.
So it just kind of. Maybe you do at the base of your shoulder.
Right.
Actually,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
That makes sense. Tingly. I'm gonna punch it.
Okay.
Like, is it like a wall, or does it like rebound, like Black Panther's arbor, or?
Yeah, it does. You hit it, and it kind of like it actually kind of absorbs the blow a little bit, and like, but it like throws your hand back. Is there anything else you want to try?
None of my spells are helpful. Nope.
Okay. So, what happens is you kind of, as you're like hitting against the wall, and nothing seems to happen, you kind of turn around and Domena is looking at you, standing in the middle of the room now.
Oh, that's sudden.
And she's staring at you.
I squint. Borderline glare. What?
And she doesn't respond quite yet. She waits a few moments. And you have very high passive perception, so you notice
Yes.
as she looks at you, black begins to flood her eyes. and then her head jerks, and you hear a cracking sound, and then you, in this wet, cracking splurch, you see tentacles begin to emerge from the back of her head, sending skull fragments clattering across the floor. Her eyes go dead, and the tentacles grab onto the wall behind, like the back of the room, and her form falls limply and into the floor, and the form begins to slurp into the vent, and kind of slipping through this impossibly thin
Before
gap.
I leave my site, I hunter's mark it.
Okay. All right. Does that give you any information, or just let you know where it's going?
No, I don't. Not level 2, just level 1. I just can. Here, let's click. 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 Oh, I did it myself. Dang it, Lindsay. Try again. Once more with feeling. Click. Click. I just know. I think I just know where it is.
Okay. Is there a range on that?
Just a concentration up to an hour. I
Oh,
think.
no range? It does just okay, cool.
Like, as long as it's within 90 feet of me when I cast it, I can sense it for up to an hour wherever it is.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So that happens.
So it's just a tentacle thing that popped out of her skull?
That is accurate. Do you want to do anything with this information?
I would like to panic at what's going to happen to me when the guards come back and find my cellmate is dead, and I'm the only suspect.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay. So some time passes for all of these different events. Pace, you're still kind of acutely aware of this thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you know, you know what direction it is from you and roughly how far away it is. But as far as you don't know where it, where, or what's around it, that kind of thing.
Right.
Were you raising your hand? Yep.
Yeah, at some point I would have tried messaging someone in one of the other cells. Does it go through? And
Sorry. I said, asked you to tell me what you're going to ask, and then I spaced out completely. Can you repeat yourself from the beginning?
At some point I would have tried using the message cantrip just to talk to someone in one of the other cells. Does it get through? Can they hear me? Can they respond?
Yeah, I think so. I think I mean, you can get. Who are you gonna go for?
I'd probably start with Bolster, and then just check to see if I get a response, and then I'd work my way through the rest of the crew and just sort of act as a switchboard to have the conversation between us all.
So this is what I'm gonna say. So what? The things that stop it is a foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead. So none of that is true in this case, but because of the distortion of this thing, I think that you can only get one legible word in each time you cast this message. So I think it just takes you a long time to communicate to somebody, and we're not going to play that out, but just saying this is the challenge that you're facing, and it's slowing down your ability to communicate with people. I will, yes.
Just when Vincent contacts me, my word of response is dead. That's all.
Okay, so who were you actually trying to contact, Vincent? Because you need a specific person you're trying to think of.
Yeah, I mean, I would have started with Bolster to see if it worked, but then after I got that, I would, check in with each member of the crew.
Okay. So you begin to kind of I think over time, everyone kind of becomes aware that you are you're there, in kind of a little bit of the situation that's going on. Pace, you're aware that presence has remained in one spot for a while. It was moving rapidly, and for a long time, and then it's been in one spot for a while. And when that happens, when you kind of aware of that, all of you feel a rumble that tremors throughout the entire station.
How much was I able to articulate to them by this point?
Dead.
Great.
No, I don't. See, no, actually, the thing is, like, the way this works, you don't know really which word got through. So, like, I think they just get like a random. I mean, they're aware that you're there. They know that you're freaked out. But good. I don't think that they know what the situation that you're experiencing is, like, with any clarity. They just know that you're freaking out.
Great.
Another tremor racks the station, and the lights begin to flicker. And
All right.
another time you get hit. Can I get dex saves from everybody?
Yup. So when you say the lights flicker, do the hexagon doors also flicker? Ugh. I had a total of 17.
That's an 18 for Vincent.
Come on.
14.
It's thinking about it. 19.
Mine's thinking.
You all are quite dexterous. Except for Gwendolyn.
But I am! But I'm so dexterous. Just not right now.
So, Pace rolls a 17, Benson an 18, Rosh a 14, Bolster 19, Gwendolyn a
9.
So, this last violent tremor sends Gwendolyn onto your butt. But everyone else manages to hold their footing, and at that moment, Pace, the grid begins to shimmer, and then the lights go dead. The grid like goes down.
I immediately jump out.
And you jump out, and after a few moments, you hear these klaxons going, or these like alarms going off, and the hallway is flooded with a red light, these emergency lights. And
I'm yelling everybody's name. Like a mom trying to get to her child's correct name. I'm yelling everybody's name just in succession. Rachel, Vincent, Gwendolyn, Bolster.
I cast light.
Okay.
As soon as the lights go off.
All right. And at the end of this hallway, there's this, as you all kind of come out, there's this large window that's facing outside of the facility. You see a few guards that are just kind of staring awestruck, like, out of it. You see flashes of light happening from outside. And I think we should probably end there. Let's end there. Yeah.
Oh, I hate cliffhangers.
What have we done? First of all, what
guys.
did we do to get arrested? Second of all, what have we done?
Guess we'll find out.
Last time we were
next
here,
time.
we did set somebody's house on fire.
Hey,
And
he actually set his own house on fire.
Yeah.
So, hey, all of you out there in Twitch land, thank you so much for viewing us live. If you're watching this later on YouTube, we love you a little bit more than the Twitch people. So, everyone is welcome. I don't know why I had to add that. But yeah, everyone, thank you all so much for joining. Come back this coming Saturday for Survivors Complex at 5:30 Eastern Time. Gosh, it's just so darn good to see you all. We'll be back here in 2 weeks, but in 1 week, it's Apocrypha. So check that out. We'll be here all the time. Bye-bye.